There was a point in time where the Boondocks could have looked like this.
You pee the bed and suck your thumb. You are not a thug.
Almost a decade ago, a 22-second scene from the show's unreleased pilot made all the way back in 2003 was revealed to the public. Earlier this year, this test pilot was finally leaked in its entirety. And what if I told you that if this pilot ended up becoming the basis for the full series, we'd remember it completely different in our minds today? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another quick joint, a series where a video is too long to be YouTube short, but too short to be a full-length video. Also, shout out to this creator that remastered the episode you're about to see. Let's actually talk about the episode now. The episode starts off with the boys watching a show called Moesha. It sounds like a bootleg mashup of Moesha and the Parkers. This just shows you how far Boondocks creator Aaron McGruder's hate for networks like BET and UPN traces back to. Although this scene is very tame compared to the jabs he would take at BET in seasons 2 and 3 of the final show.
What's your favorite show on TV?
Moesha.
Woo! What's your next favorite show?
Next week's Moesha.
Here, read a book, dummy.
Read? You can't read and get hoes. Show me one person who reads and gets hoes.
Wait, didn't the Black Panthers have a book club? What's your point, Riley?
I'm looking at one who don't read and don't got no hoes.
Damn, Huey, you ain't had to cook him that hard. Speaking of Huey, this nigga voice kind of sound off, doesn't it? Let's do a comparison real quick.
High fructose corn syrup. Read about it. It'll kill you.
I'm looking at one who don't read and don't got no hoes.
My initial guess when I first watched this like a week before I started working on this video, I initially thought it was still Regina King doing his voice, just like with a different tonality and register, since it was earlier in the show's history. But it's honestly hard to tell. I heard someone in the YouTube comment section say Alicia Keys voiced him in this pilot. This roast session between these two is pretty funny, but it's still kind of odd hearing Huey's voice like this. I do feel like the monotone, you either listen to me or you don't type energy that Regina King gives him in the final show fits his character a lot more. It's very hard for this Huey to feel like Huey when that aspect is missing, even with the pilot's reasonably strong writing being present.
Read? You can't read and get hoes.
Damn, that animation is fluid. Hold on. As much as I love the final show, the cold open from this test pilot is almost distractingly more engaging than what we got in the actual show. It has that relaxed but reasonably fluid pipeline that reminds me a lot of the Disney Channel cartoons from back then, especially like early Phineas and Ferb. The strongest and most iconic aspect of the final show's visuals, besides the cool fight scenes, was its overt anime influence that we only see sprinkles of in this test pilot, since it kind of feels like the art direction is scared to fully break away from the art style we see in the original comic strip. Plus, the entire final show is kind of visually inconsistent in general, most likely because they kept switching studios. Season 1 looks like this, and Season 4 looks so bright you think they put a Snapchat filter on the show. No disrespect to Studio Mir for the way that season turned out either. I mean, these niggas made Kipo, and that show was gas, so all is forgiven, but it's about time we go back to actually talking about the pilot now. The boys are running down the stairs for breakfast, and this happens. The roast sessions continue. These niggas get these insane nicknames in parentheses on the bottom of the screen. Robert stops the fight, also gets a crazy nickname, and says this.
Shut up! I don't give a damn why y'all fighting. Now get out of my house before the bus comes.
Can you drive us?
Yeah, something could happen to us out there, Granddad.
I'm trying to do the right thing for you boys by spending your inheritance on a big house in the suburbs so y'all can be safe. If something happens, it's God's will. Besides, your little friend Jasmine will be at the bus stop.
What about her?
He like her, but he's scared.
I'm not scared.
Don't be scared. Now you go out there and lay down your game, player.
Now, I've seen some people ship Huey and Jasmine in the fan base for quite some time now, and honestly, I didn't really understand it until recently. Me watching this video also kind of helped strengthen this perspective in my head too. The fact that they're both so different, and the way that when Huey was trying to make up with this little light-skinned nigga that I still want to slap to this day, or when he was trying to free Brother Shabazz, watch my previous video on the Boondocks for a deeper look on that whole situation. Jasmine at least tried to understand him, or in the case of the dumb light-skinned nigga, tried to warn him when things wouldn't work out. Huey did the same for her when that lemonade stand was getting exploited. Looking at it this way, it all kind of makes sense. It just makes me all the more curious what this dynamic would have turned out to be like in this version of the show, with Huey having feelings for her actually being canonical.
You just heard R. Kelly's new hit, Inappropriate. And now on our Friday double play, here's another one by R. Kelly called Disturbing.
You know what? I don't even have words for that. Just, wow.
Aw, why the long face, Jasmine?
The kids make fun of me.
Well, that kind of thing happens to everybody, honey. I remember kids would call me cornball or nerd. Or Oreo double stuff. Fruity boy, pansy pants, or bitch ass,
Tom!
or... Yeah.
I have to go catch the bus now.
Well, I guess Tom hasn't changed at all. I'm sure these roasts were very traumatic for dude, but Oreo double stuff is hilarious. I'm sorry. We cut back to Robert watching some workout tape with his birthday suit on. Bruh, wait. What is it with this nigga doing things without clothes that don't require it on multiple different occasions? Like, go get some friends that aren't racist or anti-black or dead. Exactly. We cut to Huey and Riley in detention. This nigga Riley has the most dripped out clothes I've ever seen him in, with the closest runner-up being the fit from the charity episode in season 3. Say what you want about his behavioral issues, but the nigga can dress. Now Jasmine comes in and offers our boy Huey a sandwich. Bro reluctantly takes it, showing the awkwardness between the two on full display. They hold on these two's facial expressions for a few seconds, showing Jasmine's well intentions despite not knowing Huey that well at this point. And Huey's confusion on why Jasmine is so willing to try and protect someone she barely knows. I would have loved to see more of this had this been worked into the dynamic they have in the final show. Now, would I want this pilot as a whole to replace what we ended up getting in the final product? Not even close. And what we're about to see in this next scene perfectly illustrates why I feel this way. Robert goes to see Ruckus, who funnily enough doesn't get a clever nickname. All he gets is self-hating black man, which I mean, they're not lying. Anyway, the reason Robert met up with him is because he needs advice from Ruckus on how to raise his boys. A person who's not only racist towards his own kind, but also has a strained relationship with his children. I wonder why. Didn't even know the nigga had kids until I saw this pilot. We get a close-up on the questionable literature collection on Ruckus's shelf. This is probably the boldest thing they could have did with his character, since this pilot would have aired on Fox out of all places, which not only owns a network with political views that couldn't be any more opposite than what the Boondocks stands for, but the main Fox network itself is a network TV channel. And networks like it, that you can access for free legally without the use of a cable subscription, have mandatory standards and practices issued by the government, compared to basic cable like Adult Swim, where all the standards and practices are issued by the network, not out of legal requirement, but so they could please advertisers for a network that you already have to pay hundreds of dollars to get access to, since most of that subscription money doesn't actually go to the network because capitalism or something. I don't know, business, big words. Another thing that bogs down this pilot's potential is the fact that Ruckus can't ruthlessly use the M-word the way he does in the final series. The last instance I remember the M-word being used on network television was when a white dude said it on the Carmichael Show. NBC executives let the show get the word off 6 times, one of those times being said by Gerard's white friend within the show, since the point of the episode was to explore the history of the word and how it affects our culture. I'll link this Refinery 29 article about the episode in the description if you want to learn more. And mind you, this was only 2017 when this happened. This Boondocks Test Pilot came out in 2003. Niggas had no chance for real. Literally. Ruckus taking a recontextualized version of a racial slur, only to use that recontextualized version to 9 times out of 10 talk down on the people the original version of the word was meant to offend, really illustrated how effed up of a person Ruckus is in a way that's almost poetic. The TLDR version of that is, the nigga has to say nigga. That's just how I look at it. And something you need to look at for more updates on videos like these is my IG at Genius the Great, link in the description. Anyway, like, you don't really fully feel how important that word is to how we see the Boondocks in our minds until you see this pilot. Like, sure, they say Negro here from time to time, but that's like a little kid saying crap after getting caught saying what they really wanted to say. But to lock back in on the episode, a white boy throws a baseball through Ruckus's window and he thinks it was an innocent mistake and that the boy's actually a really good person until this happens.
What the? Hey, somebody gonna get their ass kicked.
Hey, Mr. Timmy, you lost your lucky ball again.
My bad! Now throw the ball back, bitch!
A white boy who need his ass whooped. Shoot. And I thought my boys were bad. I'm going home.
I mean, I could have told you that before you walked out of the door, Robert. I'm just saying. Because to our last scene where Huey's getting whooped in a soccer game.
Schooling you like the United Negro College Fund. Oh, I got you now. Oh, come on.
Huey ain't got no game!
Well, boys, seem like getting up inside Huey's behind in this video game is something we can all enjoy as a family. Now get the hell to bed. The Spice Channel de-scrambled itself right around now.
The Spice Channel? I know this nigga's not paying for a cable network just to watch some damn Corn on the Cob movies. But anyway, I really enjoyed this pilot. Although I think of it as more of a cool, hypothetical, what if scenario, and if the show actually turned out like this, I'm still glad it didn't replace the show we got. There are small aspects of it I think would have strengthened the show's character writing as well as its visual dynamics, but we can't all have our cake and eat it too. Honestly, I think it's just a miracle that a show like the Boondocks even got greenlit in the first place. In fact, when the show first got greenlit by Adult Swim, they initially rejected the pilot we just watched because it felt quote-unquote too networky, according to the show's fandom page. Back around 2017 or 2018, I remember reading on Wikipedia that the reason Fox rejected the show was because it didn't fit the quote-unquote dysfunctional family trope that their biggest adult cartoons at the time had. Although this was a really long time ago, I don't know if my memory is a reputable source or not. I'm pretty sure it's not though. It definitely isn't. Who am I kidding? But if we went along with this theory, you could just consider that the biggest show at the time that didn't follow this formula, aka Futurama's first 5 seasons, got horrible treatment from the network when it came to scheduling and promotion. A show that was literally made by the creator of the cartoon that defined their animation lineup from the very beginning. Who's to say they wouldn't have given this black satire about an unusual family dynamic the same treatment? After the show was greenlit, the Adult Swim executives only gave Aaron McGruder and his team one rule: just tell stories. Here's a little theory I had about that though. Adult Swim put out that weird racist superhero cartoon the same year the Boondocks premiered. Watch Rebel Taxi's video on that for more info, but the Boondocks making it to air almost kind of seems like accidental reparations for that in a way. Or I'm just chatting more than a Twitch streamer and I need to stop talking. Maybe both? I don't know, this is just a thought. Wrong channel though. Anyway, this has been a quick joint. Watch my previous video on the show, follow my IG at Genius the Great for more updates on videos like these, and any other link you need from me is all linked in the description. And until next time, I'm out this mug.